Latest on this thing going on in Yorkville. There is a police presence. Everything's shut down. Nobody's talking. What do you know?
Not a whole lot. All I can tell you is that Main Street, which runs from Yorkville into Whitesboro, there is a portion of it closed. It is closed basically where Paulie's Barbershop is. So if you can think, I can't think of the name of it. It's a Fast Mart or an Extra Mart that's right there on the boulevard across from Voss's. The road closure.
Yeah, another one of it's like the whatever. It used to be an Extra Mart. It's now been purchased. Yes.
Yes, it's right across from Voss's and Club Monarch. The road that's right behind. There's a few houses there, but right behind it where Main Street is and Paulie's Barbershop, basically that's where the closure begins, and then it continues down into Main Street in Whitesboro, which is, and it ends basically right near the entrance to the plaza there and the funeral home. So if you travel that way, you're going to have to go around. I was not able to talk to any officers to find out what was going on, but according to the Oneida County 911 call log, there were several calls early this morning regarding what they have listed here on the website as an assault on Whitesboro Street in Yorkville. So I'm calling it Main Street. I guess it is Whitesboro Street, and then it becomes Main Street in Whitesboro.
I also have a text to Oneida County Sheriff Rob Mayshill. He says he's even awaiting to hear word from his guy on the ground there, his deputies.
Additionally, it's time now for breaking news. Breaking news. Whatever. Ladies and gentlemen, an era has passed. Topics is gone.
See ya.
It's done?
Done.
Sailed into the sunset.
I can't imagine that's a permanent thing.
Topics is done.
What do they say?
Topics forums have sailed into the sunset. For over a decade, Topics has proudly served up your town's latest news and hottest takes. In that time, a lot has changed. We have grown to be one of the Internet's largest entertainment sources. As Topics grew, news and discussion became less of what we were all about. Yeah, it became smutty slander and you know.
Well, it was inspiration for a very important Oneida County bill that passed, and that's online bullying.
You can't even call that a bill.
Can we set
First
the
of all,
sun
it's
on
a
that
law.
one, too?
I'm just a bill.
Terrible. Today, we've decided to break away from what we were and fully embrace the pretty good entertainment company you've all come to love. We want to thank all of our forum readers and contributors. You helped shape our company and push us in directions we never thought possible. We hope that you continue to enjoy your content, our content, no matter what form it might take. And it's done.
So I found out
the forum aspect is done. Topics remains. It'll be kind of a regurgitation of news. The forum part is done, so we're no longer going to know who Judy is sleeping with.
Well,
I don't think we need topics for that.
I didn't think it was going to be a permanent thing. It sounds like it is. But so
Yeah.
I found out about this last night because, in fact, Don Shipman from WKTV posted on his Facebook page, and he said, "Oh, my gosh, where am I going to find out about Jill's sex life and read about my own sexuality?" He was really disappointed he wasn't going to get that information from Topics anymore. And I'll tell you, they had a lot of great things to say about you on Topics. I mean, you were a big...
I loved it. It was awesome. The cocaine I've enjoyed over the years.
It was Bill's therapy. You know, he would go home and just read.
For the
it
record,
all.
I'm one who will admit pretty much anything. I kind of feel like there's no sense in denying. I've never in my life tried cocaine. And the fear is if I were to have, that I would be a junkie. I have that type of personality.
Okay.
So I've never even, and I've been offered. But on Topics, I am a regular snorter of cocaine.
Can I say what is actually pretty telling about Topics is how quickly you can determine who's a frequenter of the site or who's used it.
Well,
how frequently they found out that it was off.
Well, I
didn't vote till this morning.
I could tell you're absolutely. It's a very interesting observation because I had several people reach out to me last night who were like, "You're not going to believe it. Topics is gone forever." So that's where I had gotten it. And you're right. Those people probably are frequent.
I went to post this about somebody.
At the very least, frequent viewers of what is on Topics. Of course, with Topics, if you're not familiar, you didn't have to put your name. You could just say whatever you wanted about anybody without ever using your name.
Now, I have to tell you, I actually was mentioned there only a few times, but I was commonly referred to, at least on 4 or 5 occasions, as the bloated, chain-smoking R-word. Manaski, the bloated, chain-smoking R-word. And they actually use the R-word, and I won't.
Yeah.
But, I mean,
Nice.
my only reaction to that is I don't feel bloated, so I don't know where they're getting that information from. So
You're really not a chain smoker.
No, I'm not.
You get out of control by 9 a.m. if you haven't had a cigarette. You are a little weird, but I wouldn't call that a chain smoker. Anyway, that is, I think that's kind of interesting news. The ODE has a story today that says out of that money, all that money that was distributed as part of the Hunger Games, the governor loves a good game show, that he is, the RCIL is moving into the old Boston store.
Saw that.
Which is big. That's going to put, I believe, almost 2 floors worth of activity in there out of the 4 floors that are inside. That was, of course, most recently was the APAC building.
And, that's got to be pretty cool for somebody else to say, okay, now that there's a business going in there, it gives me all the more reason to maybe do some more investment in that building.
They do have a parking problem along Genesee Street. It is a real issue, but it is what it is. And for here, RCIL will be using that parking garage that's attached to it, which basically puts that garage at capacity. But, I think that works with the hospital nearby, which is still coming, despite what some people say. But RCIL was they were over on Columbia Street. So their property is being purchased by the hospital. They were being vacated, and it's now one more property that will stay not only in Utica, but in downtown Utica. So I think that's a pretty big deal. Today on the program, we have a lot to get into. We'll talk to Tanya Powers. A lot has happened overnight. This craziness going on right now. The House passed a big bill that includes a lot of money for the wall. It is now a battle between, because the problem's going to be in the Senate, and the president says he will not sign any deal that does not include funding for the wall, and he'll shut the government down. So we talked about this just yesterday. You watch. Now, the president, up until the day before, was saying, we're gonna keep the government open until after the holiday. But then he started getting major criticism from the right, including people like Ann Coulter, our friend Rob, who was ready for impeachment. Well, I'm not sure, Rob, you played any role in this, but I will tell you, it is going to be a showdown. And I don't know if you realize, but we're Friday right now, Friday before Christmas.
So the idea was the deal had to be struck by today. 2 things. One, you were absolutely right what you said on Trump, that he was probably going to go back and change his mind.
He was going to change it. We said it yesterday, and he absolutely
Especially
did.
when Rush was kind of subtly like, this is so unlike the president to be like this and out of character. And
now,
basically he's criticizing him subtly.
On top of this all, though, you've got another big member of the president's team stepping down in Mattis. And this is all over the Syria and pulling out of Syria and pulling out of Afghanistan. There's a lot going on right now, and in the midst of it all, the stock market is acting very unstable, losing another almost 500 points yesterday. So a lot to talk about with that.
Is Obama going to come out and take credit for that?
He might, yeah. Tanya J. Powers from Fox News will be up, and that'll be on the immigration issue. Willie Waffle will get into Willie with the movies going into Christmas weekend. Free money question of the day this morning from the Hobeika Law Firm. I have a kind of a last-minute gift idea for you. We have some gift cards to give away that come from the Villa Verona Vineyards, which is out on 365 over near the Turning Stone Resort and Casino. The food's really great over there. She has great wines, and we'll give you a chance to win some gift cards there this morning.
Yeah, you'll enjoy.
Turn into a nice little last-minute gift that you don't have to pick up. Well, you're going to have to pick it up. We won't send it to you, but it'll be yours. Also, the OD did reach their goal. Not only reach their goal, but they went over their $65,000 goal. Technically, and they probably won't say it because the money wasn't all in by then, but we had a listing of, and I'll run down the names that gave yesterday. By the time we had hit 9 o'clock yesterday morning, with the Giotto match, with the $7,500 donation by AAA, along with others, $100 donations here and there, left and right. $750 from Tom Highland.
Thank you, Tom.
The Olneys with $250. It was one right after another. And by the time we'd left yesterday morning, we had, combined with the Frank Giotto match, we had reached exactly $30,000. How about that?
I had the opportunity to stop
Which
in.
was their deficit.
Yes. I had a chance to stop in because we had some cash here in studio that was donated. And that reminds me, I got to give you that $50. I totally forgot. We pledged through your credit card, and but so you took.
I pledged through my credit card a few times too in my life. I pledged to you.
I
Please
pledged to
work.
my credit card.
Please work. There's a huge line behind me. Please work.
So the $20,000 from Utica Tower and the $75,000 from AAA, but just phone calls of people every day. Local folks not coming from a big organization. They said they got like over $4,000 between 7:30 and 9 yesterday.
Pretty cool.
It's awesome.
Pretty cool. And we want to thank everybody. And they are over their goal of $65,000. And it did take that promise from Frank Giotto to come out and say, listen, not only will it wasn't one for one. It was for every one given, he would match it with $2. So it was pretty cool. We're going to give you an update on the news coming right up, and it is raining out there. Any of the snow, at least down here in the valleys, any of the snow that has been out there is pretty much, even the banks are pretty much dissipated to the point where there's nothing left, and it'll continue through the day today, but then we cool off again. We'll give you the full Christmas Day forecast and holiday forecast coming up. 634 WIBX. Good morning, Tanya J. Powers.
Hey, good morning.
Do they make you work on Monday?
I am working on Monday.
All right.
Maybe that makes four of us.
We'll try to squeeze you in during our big Christmas extravaganza on Monday.
Well, okay, here's the deal. I'm actually filling in over on our Sirius XM channel anchoring that morning. However, there will be, it's every other hour. So I would love to do on one of my off hours. I would love to come on the show with you guys and just,
awesome.
Do a little holiday thing. So.
We would love it. We would love it. I'll have Andrew work it out. And that's really
we'll figure
cool.
something out.
Yeah. Nothing like Christmas in holidays in New York City. It's really an awesome place to be for the holidays. So
yes,
pretty cool. All right. So we now have, I could just go cherry picking here. On what has happened in the last 24 hours. But
yeah, just the last day.
Yeah,
they got to start giving you your assignments a little later. I know it makes it harder for you, but I mean...
Well,
actually, it doesn't make it any harder for me because, I mean, there have been mornings when they've said at 5:30, hey, we're changing your topic, and you'll start in 30 minutes on this. So it's really... I'm with you, though. It's, wow, what do you pick?
Yeah, it's hard to... I'm going to go with immigration here. So there was an announcement yesterday on a new action to confront illegal immigration. What's the game plan here?
Well, there's been a new agreement with Mexico to hold migrants there while asylum claims are being processed. Now, during this press event, wherever whatever you want to call it, where the announcement was made, they and I say they, I'm talking about the DHS and the Secretary Kirstjen Nielsen got pretty hammered on the family separation thing. She said it was never a policy, that family separations were never a policy. Tens of thousands of families with children, tried to cross the border in October and November, and we saw, what happened earlier in the year from that. This is an interesting new development that they're going to be able to stay in Mexico, while their asylum claim is being processed. That's not normally how it's been done in the past, as we, most of us, are aware of. But it'll be interesting to see how this goes over and how this works, because I mean we've heard all about the people who've come up from Central America that are in Tijuana. They're in the the big shelters there. I mean, there are not even shelters. One was a ball field.
Yeah, it's crazy.
So, yeah, it really is.
All right. Well, it'll be interesting as we head through the holidays, and really have to wonder: will the government be open? It looks like the Senate is looking at the nuclear option. To pass this funding the president is asking for, so they might get it done before the end of the day.
They might. Boy, it would be terrible. I mean, there's just so many things, like you said, that happened in the last 24 hours that sort of sent everybody reeling. So we'll see.
Listen, have a wonderful weekend. We'll speak with you Monday.
You.
Thanks so much.
Yeah.
Tanya J. Powers from Fox News. Coming up, Willie Waffle, you want to add?
I just have a quick question. You mentioned something that the House was working overnight to try to fund this, and maybe they did.
The House already passed. They already passed their version.
So,
which includes funding for the wall.
But didn't Paul Ryan come out this week and said he wasn't even going to include it, and then so that changed yesterday or last night?
There's been a lot of back and forth in the last couple of days here. So.
I was surprised to hear that.
Yeah. So some who said they weren't going to support did, and now it's going to be over to the Senate, and they might go down this road to get this thing done. So everything before Nancy and the gang show up. After the first of the year, trying to get it all in. Willie Waffle coming up, and I'll tell you how much it costs, and it's coming here, how much it costs to go see a movie if you're in England, London. What's it cost to go see a movie? The number is crazy. We're coming right back at WIBX. Friday before Christmas, heading into a busy weekend. Everybody's going to be shopping. The stores will be open late, all of that stuff. Good morning, Willie Waffle.
Well, good morning. And Hollywood puts out like 5 movies because they know you're going to need a little time away from the family at some point.
Yeah, there's a lot of them out there. I wanted to get into this. There's a story in Variety that lists that the cost to see a movie in London has now topped, it's almost $51 a ticket to see a movie in London. Yep.
What?
Yes. That is the cost to see a movie in London. You know how much it is in New York City right now?
I want to say it's probably near like $14, $15.
$26 a ticket in the city.
Be kidding me.
Yep.
Well, the industry's going to go away. Nobody's going to pay that.
$50.75 U.S.
My God.
To see a movie in London, $26. L.A. is at $21. Dubai is at $20.
It's cheaper in Dubai to watch a movie?
Correct.
Where basically sidewalks are made from gold?
The flight's a little expensive. Yeah. By the way, in Mexico City, it's $9.10. So if you want to cross over the border, just be careful. You might not be let back in. So, but you'll save some money. So, anyway.
Wow, the $50 is blowing me away. I mean, like, dude, do I really want to pay $50 to watch Kevin Hart yelling and screaming for 2 hours? I don't think so.
It's crazy, right? How can you? It's going to inspire people to say, you know what? I'll pay the $14 to watch it at home. So.
Well, and I think it's only a matter of time before we're all watching these at home.
Yeah,
like,
I know.
With on-demand delivery and big screen TVs at home, I mean, I think they could make a ton of money. Look what's already happening with Netflix. You know, Sandra Bullock's new movie premieres on Netflix today.
Wow.
Okay, and it's a great deal for people who have a subscription, and Netflix is happy because it brings people to the service. So I think that's where we're going to go. I mean, Ben Affleck has a massive movie coming out on Netflix next year. My Martin Scorsese, Robert De Niro, Al Pacino mafia movie is going to be on Netflix next year. I mean, this is I think the direction we're going.
So her new movie is debuting on Netflix, and it's not doing it because it's bad. It's doing it because this is the approach they're taking.
Well, it's the approach they're taking, and it's a good business model for Netflix. A mid-level, mid-budget, drama with Sandra Bullock is not going to make $150 million at the box office. So Netflix can put it on, and they're not going to pay as much to make it. There's not the pressure to deliver a big box office. Makes good sense for them.
Yeah.
They're not going to compete with Bumblebee. They're not going to compete with Aquaman.
Right. All right, I want to bring Wayne in just quickly, who has a comment on the movies. Good morning, Wayne.
Hey, what's up, guys? I just want to know what they're paying all this money for. What experience? Is it a better experience there than it is here? You go there,
in London,
they start having like dancing strippers on the side or something.
In London, it's Dolby Cinema, which is apparently really amazing. A full recliner and small table. That's what you get. Yeah. So you're getting a little bit of a better experience. So that's what they're going for.
They don't have bed bugs.
No bed bugs. No bed bugs.
All right. You guys have a good day and a good Christmas.
And with a $50 ticket, you're not getting, just anybody moseying in there. You got to have some money to go see the movies.
And for the record,
crazy.
who would want a stripper at a movie? It's so distracting.
I'm glad you focused on that. That's good. Aquaman, Willie, what do you think?
Hey, I think it's actually a pretty good movie. You got Jason Momoa, ladies and gentlemen, the only man on the planet who can challenge a shirtless Matthew McConaughey, okay? And he is Aquaman, and we get the origin story here. We learn about his mother was the queen of the underworld, but she was banished and had him, and his father is a human, and she was, a fish. I don't know what else to call him. And now we're years later, and the people who live in the underworld, live in the underwater, they're angry because we've put a lot of garbage into the ocean. We've put a lot of weapons into the ocean, and they want to take over. And only Aquaman can rise up and unite the two worlds.
I'm kind of looking forward to this one. What do you think?
I think it's a good action movie. I like Jason Momoa as Aquaman. I actually think he's really good. He captures kind of the silliness and the seriousness. They give him all the comic relief, and sometimes it's a little forced, but at least, they're trying, and sometimes it works pretty well. The only real big problem I have with the movie is I feel like all these DC movies, Superman versus Batman, even Wonder Woman to an extent, the special effects have this, phony sheen to them, where you can tell they're fake, and that throws me off every time. I'm going to say Aquaman gets 3 waffles. Why not?
Okay, all right. Let's see. There's really a lot of good ones this weekend. Mary Poppins Returns. My wife's all about this one.
Well, and, this is really, if it wasn't Mary Poppins Returns, I think we would be calling it a very uninspired sequel. Because it's a lazy sequel in a lot of ways, Here we are decades later. The Banks children have grown up. They're adults now, but they have new problems. They might lose the family house. So Mary Poppins is coming back with all of her magic. And so in that sense, it's not very original, but you like the music, you like the song and dance. Lin-Manuel Miranda playing the chimney sweep is so charming. He makes it work. Emily Blunt as Mary Poppins, I think, adds kind of a wicked naughtiness to her that makes her more interesting for adults. I'll go 2.5 waffles. It's a simple story, but it's also a kid's movie, so it has to kind of be simple.
Bumblebee is an animated action hero type. What is this?
Well, he is one of our Transformers.
Oh, right.
And now we're going to learn, how did Bumblebee end up on Earth in the 1980s to protect Earth from the Decepticons until the rest of the Transformers could gather together for the other movie that we already saw. And so I think what really makes this movie work is that you've got Haley Steinfeld playing the 18-year-old Charlie Watson, this outcast girl whose life is falling apart, who now becomes Bumblebee's best friend. It works. It's so emotional. It's so uplifting.
Wow.
And I think you're going to even like John Cena as the soldier guy, kind of coming in as the comic relief. The soldier who sees Bumblebee and can't believe what he sees, and he wants to battle all these horrible robots that obviously just want to take over the planet. I'm going to say 3 waffles. I thought it was a solid movie.
And this is the one John Cena plays one of the voices, right?
Yeah, well, he is actually he is one of the soldiers. He is the leader of the force that's trying to kind of stop the Decepticons. So you're going to enjoy him, I think.
Second act, J-Lo lying on her resume. What is this one?
The quintessential J-Lo movie. Essentially, here she is again, and she's Cinderella again. You're leaving her big box job where she's not appreciated. Her friend's son lies all about the resume, and she ends up getting this high-powered job on Madison Avenue that she's obviously not qualified for. But guess what, Bill? She's going to use her street smarts.
Oh,
they're just as important as book smarts.
Nice, I like it.
Yeah. It's harmless crud. I mean, listen, it's okay. It hits all the right notes. It tells the story that I think J-Lo fans want to see. I'll go 2 waffles for second act.
And then one more. We have yet another one, and this is the one with Steve Carell, which is a true story. It seems a little odd. I seem like in the beginning, I'm not sure I'd be interested in this.
Yeah.
But now, as I read into it, the fact that it's based on a true story, what are your thoughts? And give us the background on this thing.
Well, it happened in Kingston, New York, and it was this artist played by Steve Carell who gets horribly beaten into a coma after an altercation at a bar, and he finally gets out of the coma. He can't remember anything about his life. He can't remember what happened, and he falls into a depression, and he's got to go through rehab, and he creates this little fantasy world around his home with all these little dolls. It's like a World War II, by scale kind of thing, and he creates all these little stories for the dolls, and this is how he's trying to cope with what's happened to him and bringing back his memory. And, the story is interesting, but I just feel like in this movie, they don't really get into it enough. I feel like, they try to go off into the animation for animation's sake.
Yeah.
They're like, we can make this happen, so we'll do it, rather than doing it to serve the story.
Right.
Carell's really great, but it's a 1.5 waffle movie. It just doesn't.
Wow.
It just doesn't work.
Wow.
But, there's an actual documentary about this guy. It was called Marwin Call, and you can actually watch the documentary and see the true story if you ever want to see that.
You think the documentary would be more entertaining than this movie?
I think the documentary, I think it is a little bit more entertaining. I do.
He didn't have any family around or anything that would.
Well, he had like his mother and people like that, but he has to make that climb back to getting his memory and being able to walk again and being able to live on his own again. And I mean, it was really bad.
Wow,
it was really bad.
All right, good stuff. It's wafflemovies.com. As always, Willie, we appreciate it. We will talk to you on the first Friday of 2019.
Well, maybe I'll make a little special appearance like another fat man we know on Monday morning.
I think you should be on at 6:50, maybe, something like that, Monday?
I could do that.
All right, love it. We'll talk to you on Monday. Thank you, Willie.
All right, we'll talk to you later.
Willie Waffle, our movie reviewer, and we'll do some holiday stuff with him during the Christmas extravaganza, happening Monday morning. Whatever is going on, I call it a standoff, but I'm not sure that's really what it is. However, a huge police presence this morning, early morning in Yorkville. You were at the scene. No one was talking, but it didn't seem like there was any real activity happening, right?
Correct.
A lot of police cars, a lot of lights, everything shut down. By the way, if you're over in that Yorkville area, you'll need to divert as they've diverted traffic. What do we know, Andrew, and what can we say?
Well, what we're limited to right now is that the Oneida County Sheriff told me that his units would be leaving and that Yorkville Police would be sending out a press release with all the details. They'd be getting word to media on what exactly happened. But right now, nothing serious at this time, and nobody has been injured.
Okay.
Yeah, they were investigating something. So
yeah,
it certainly looked serious, right? And I think we're seeing a lot of this sort of thing where all of a sudden you get this big police presence. But then again, down in the valley, that turned into something, right? There was the guy that was, and he shot right through a door, right? Shot a firearm through the door. There could have been somebody on the other side.
Yeah.
That was pretty crazy.
Well, I think, too, it's and hats off to law enforcement. No matter what happens, they're always kind of working together collaboratively to make sure, even if it's nothing, which we don't know in this case for sure, but even if it's nothing, the preventative measures are there in place.
Next year is the 50th anniversary of Woodstock.
Wow.
And it looks like there are two, I think there are two reunion concerts being planned right now. One would be, I think, in Bethel, and I don't think that's an official one. The other one that's being planned, and they're trying to find a location, is with the original organizers of Woodstock. And I think that'll be because it's the 50th, I think it'll be somewhere near Woodstock, somewhere near the original place.
Okay.
But I don't know that they're going to find a place. I can tell you this, I don't expect it to be Griffiths.
That's too bad.
Although I have heard some rumors that they're trying to even think about doing some sort of a smaller show at each of the previous locations. Do you think we could pull that off at Griffiths?
I think we
should ask Senator Griffo.
I think Joe would be all about it. As Joe says, it wasn't as bad as we had described, as I had described it. But I was there. It was scary. Yeah. And I believe that Michael was giving me a little bit of information on this Woodstock thing. But yeah, 50 years, be 50th anniversary, and that would be a pretty cool concert to go to. What do you think the tickets will cost for that one? probably right up there.
Yeah, I mean, if they're charging $26 for a movie in New York City, I can't imagine that this is going to be less than $75, $100.
I'd be interested
to
see
the iconic nature of it, of a Woodstock reunion.
Yeah.
About that London thing, because a lot of people there, they go to like theater and shows like it is movies. So I'm wondering if that industry has an increase in price as well.
It's these are luxury seats, though. You're getting a recliner, you're getting a table, and that's awesome. I wonder if you get cocktails. They probably do cocktails or something like that.
They probably do, yeah.
I was watching somebody the other night. Maybe it was a comedian. Maybe it was at that gala.
I think it. Yeah.
But he's like, there's no place in the world, there's no time ever, if you're over the age of 40, to be sending bathroom photos to a female. Right? What are you thinking?
That's evidence right there.
I'm not even sure that over like 35 it's a good idea. Or even over 30. It's clearly not a good idea if you're 20. Because these pictures always float around, don't they?
As they sure do.
Do guys really think that's going to turn a woman to say, I'd like to date him?
Listen, I might be a bloated, chain-smoking R-word, okay? But I'm of the same thought, okay? I can't believe I went down this road. I've been asked before, like, hey, and I'm like,
oh, would you send me a photo?
Yeah. I'm like, what the hell do you want to see me naked for?
Yeah.
Listen, I don't want to ruin
way
things
better
before you
the
meet
other
me.
way.
That's the thing, but honestly, you've got to be pretty confident to do that.
I guess you do, but I guess it's back to my original question. Do you really think that's going to make a woman say, even if you're like completely, you're all
buff or something,
buff and you're
ripped,
in great shape, even if the picture's got, I do not believe that that's making a female out there like, oh, I can't wait to go out with you.
Agreed.
Right? And God forbid, if you're 50 years old and doing it, it's awesome. Congratulations on having your abs and you got a nice stomach and all that. Congratulations on all that. But do not send photos.
Yeah, I agree.
Stop. And there are plenty of older guys that do it.
It's almost like a skin in the game. Like the female won't do it, unless you've got some skin in the game. You've got some risk out there as well. I think that's part of it.
Kamara Clifton is a political strategist, and we have her through Fox News. And big news this morning that broke last night in the House passing this financial bill that is would fund the wall for the president. Exactly what he wanted. And good morning, Kamara. What do we know here this morning, and what do you think the Senate's going to do?
So are we talking about funding the wall?
Yeah.
Morning?
Okay. Yeah.
All right. Well,
what were you going to talk about?
I'm thrilled to talk about that. No, the good news is that because of leadership like Jim Jordan in the House, they were able to put together something that the president wants, keeps his campaign promise, and most all Americans want, even if they don't articulate it the same way. Surely you all would appreciate more border security where you are. I live in Texas, and it's a very big thing to me. It should be a big thing to everybody in the country.
We have a secure border here, actually.
Shutting down the government is a problem.
I think New York's pretty good.
Especially not now, since the government is mostly funded. So this is just political theater, and what we need is border security and the money to do it. We're spending much more money on that in foreign countries than we are to defend our own border.
It is amazing, though, when you think about it from the Democrat standpoint. I really believe this is just basically saying, I don't want the president to get this victory. But the problem here is, Kamara, this isn't a fight with Democrats. This is a fight with Republicans. This is the problem. The president is at war with Republicans right now. We can talk about Democrats,
read my mind.
Right? This is the real problem.
It's not Republicans. It's not Republicans. It's people who are Republican in name only.
Okay, so you think they're rhinos?
Yeah. No,
okay.
I think this is a fight between people who have an investment in the status quo. They like it the way it is. Conservatives do not like it the way it is, and the majority of American voters showed in the last presidential election that elections do have consequences. and we want the things that he asked for and that he promised. And so that we asked for, and he promised to deliver.
Well,
this
there was
is on that list.
There was a great deal of pushback from conservatives yesterday and on Wednesday when it looked like the president was going to allow this. This is not good optics. What is about to happen if the government does shut down? But it looked like the president was going to allow for the government to carry on into February, and we'd kick the can down the road. But after that criticism, and this president's not the first time he's seen political commentary on TV, and he's really completely done an about face, and that's what he did here. He says he will not sign anything that doesn't include money for the wall.
Absolutely. And, that's why I mentioned Jim Jordan at the beginning, because he's leading that conservative charge. The Republicans in name only, rhinos, if you will, they allowed an entire calendar year, this entire calendar year, to be about obfuscation, distraction, procrastination, and did not do their job. And with total kicking and screaming from the conservative contingent of the House. So, we pay the price for that. Yeah. And the reason I believe that the conservative faction is trying to, gain some ground here and make a difference in this is that they understand that the campaign for 2020 is already on.
And by the way, we saw that Democrats are starting with debates in June, primary debates in June.
Oh, my goodness.
We are going to have a brief little lull over the holiday with no politics. We're really not even going to have that. But we're going to be talking 2020.
The reason they need to do that is because they have like 40 people who, are wannabes. They need to winnow that out before it gets serious.
Yeah. I want to ask you, though, is Mattis a rhino?
He is, actually, but in a different way.
Okay.
In a very different way. When you think about the military leaders, they are military first and political party second. Mm-hmm. And in a way, that serves us really well. So I don't fault any of them historically or currently for that. I actually kind of admire it. On the flip side, he did not do the country much of a service, although I believe he was trying to preserve his legacy when he wrote a resignation letter when his paperwork says that he's retiring.
Yeah.
So here's the thing, and I think he did it because he wanted a historic record of what he really thought and didn't have the facility to say any other way. Most people would have waited and just written a book.
Maybe he was. Maybe Mattis was the author of the op-ed. You never know. There were a few lines in there.
Yeah.
All right, Camara Clifton. Thanks so much. I appreciate your time. Have a wonderful holiday.
God bless you, and Merry Christmas to you too.
Thanks. Bye.
Take care.
I can't say I completely agree. I love the rhino thing. They're still Republicans, and they're moderate Republicans. So all of a sudden, there's a group out there saying that they're not. These are not Republicans. Okay. Well, they are, and they're the problem you're having right now with passing this stuff. So I'm so sick of that word rhino. But whatever, because that's apparently what I am.
She made the point about border.
Or a liberal whack job. Is that usually what I'm called?
I don't know. It's just usually they're all in a bag. People just kind of pick them out, I think.
Yeah. Well, there'll be no Topics around to call me that anymore. Topics is gone.
See ya.
This is a crazy thing that, I think there's a liability. I think they've been getting spanked.
Yes.
Because
I believe so.
You're still in a position, because now they've been moderating. So the minute you start moderating, you're now taking a responsibility, which then can show up in a court of law. And if you are allowing someone to slip through the cracks and they're defaming, slandering someone, and that's all Topics really was,
right?
Then guess what? It was starting to become a real liability for them. I'm surprised it took them this long. But they remain a site that'll be gone soon, trust me, because they're just going to be a place where they regurgitate news. But they will no longer have the forum. So that Utica forum, down. If you had posts on there, you'd like to go back and read seedy stuff about somebody from the past, you're not going to be able to do it. The archival is gone. Everything is gone. Topics is now dead. Wild. Why should Santa get to determine that she was naughty or nice?
Because he's a man.
That's correct. He doesn't even pay those elves. It's awful. They just live there.
Yeah, but they have perks.
I guess they do.
Room and board, and
I think they let that one become a dentist, didn't he?
yes.
Didn't they?
Well, it's
Eventually.
once you're an elf, you're in the elf for life.
Yeah.
Okay,
yeah.
so it's very hard to get out of the elf.
After the free money question, hang with me on this because I have Villa Verona Vineyard gift cards to give away, and we'll do a little holiday way to do that. But it could be you can use it yourself or use it as a gift.
And you'll enjoy. You will enjoy. They put out a
nice.
great product, and they've got some good food there as well.
Andy in Waterville. Good morning, Andy. How are you?
Morning, Bill. How are you?
Good. Let's do this thing, man. This is kind of a tough question, but if you know it, you know it. It's one of those, okay? James Mad Dog Mattis has made big news yesterday with his resignation, says that he is at odds with the president, supports our allies, and feels that, in his resignation letter, he really was quite critical, somewhat indirectly, and then other times directly with the president. His nickname was Mad Dog, which brings me back to my days in college. So here is your question. Where and what town or city or village in New York State, which town is the headquarters for MD 2020, Mad Dog 2020 wine? It's in New York. What's the town? Ready? Go.
Oh, boy.
That is a tough one if you don't know it.
Clinton? I don't know. I'm just
Clinton,
saying local.
That's a good guess because we know it's not Clinton, the one we know, but there's another Clinton, New York out there.
Yeah.
There is.
Could have been.
Isn't it Saranac?
Saranac Lake?
Saranac Brewery used to make them?
No. Fred Matt's going to punch you in the face when he sees you Monday. Mad Dog 2020 wine is made in Westfield, New York.
Okay.
Never got that.
We're the proud producers of MD 2020 and all 30 of their awful flavors. Yeah. I'll give you a gift card to the 72 Tavern and Grill, though, okay?
Awesome. Thank you so much.
You have a great holiday, and that, of course, is at the Adirondack Bank Center. Andrew's going to hook you up at the Adirondack Bank Center, and the food's great. What else? I mean, what's your I always talk about the tuna tartare. Your favorite dish over there is what?
What are we talking about? 72?
Yeah.
Okay, so I've raved about the pulled pork, right? The pulled pork quesadillas. The tater tots are really good. I think we've all enjoyed those. You do the steak sandwich without the bread.
I believe it's a filet.
It's a filet, excuse me.
A filet sandwich or a prime rib sandwich, one or the other. And it is so tender. I just do it without the hoagie roll. It's a hoagie.
So I'll mention we had a little gathering Town Square, all of us in the building here had a gathering on, I think it was Tuesday. So they put out those as like little sandwiches. But what I wanted to get to was the dessert.
Keeler.
First of all, the nachos were incredible. Tried the trash can nachos. Also, as a dessert option, you can fill your own donut holes.
They did those for us,
which
too.
get a little messy, especially after you've had a couple.
But cool.
And then I wanted to mention the Cobb salad, right? Because I'm kind of turning the corner here a little bit. Andrew is my inspiration because every time he goes on one of these diets, he's 100% all in. So we went to lunch the other day, and I got the Cobb salad. It was phenomenal. Nice big chunks of avocado. So if you're trying to avoid the fried or the greasy or something like that,
and
they have good options.
This is the time of right. It's a place where I know that even on my diet, I can get something to eat there.
Absolutely,
so I like it. 72 Tavern and Grill, Oriskany Garage Tire and Auto Service. They offer a little something with our free money question. Remember, the answer was Westfield. And the way this works is if you download the app, and there's a guy that just sent us a little letter that he was one of our recipients. You get a free brake job, like a complete brake job, which, is a value of like $500.
Yeah.
Today, that's what it costs to get a full brake job. And that's it. You get a full brake job. And all you have to do is download the app, and on the app, submit the correct answer. You could do it one day or do it every single day we do it. So today's correct answer would be Westfield. You submit that answer after it's announced, and you could win.
So this came from Tom was our November winner, which we announced earlier this week, and I believe Tom played every day in November.
Smart.
And his message was, Jeff, Bill, Andrew, and Davey, and the rest of WIBX, thank you, thank you. The brake job from Oriskany Garage Tire and Auto Repair on Champlain Ave could not have come at a better time. I really needed them. Made my holiday. Keeler in the Morning Rock. So thank you,
Pretty
Tom,
cool.
and thanks for listening.
Andrew, let's. I want to give away these gift cards, and it's a little holiday contest we can do.
I like it.
It's Name That Holiday Movie. I play a clip. You tell me what the movie is. You get it right.
I like it.
You get it right. You get a gift card.
I might be able to.
You might do well on this one. The Villa Verona Vineyards out on 365, right near the Turning Stone Resort and Casino. Just take callers 1, 2, and 3 and give them a shot here. 315-736-0186. Callers 1, 2, and 3. What else? I had this crazy story out of England where this disc jockey was on the air and a guy had OD'd on purpose and called in to bid everyone farewell because he was in the process of ODing and he would have ultimately died. So somehow the host kept him on the line, figured out what city he was in, figured out where he was, et cetera, et cetera. They were able to alert authorities. They came and they saved the guy's life.
Okay.
And authorities say it is what saved the guy's life. Listen to this.
I was hoping an overdose. I thought I'd done it. It's kill me.
When did you do that?
About an hour ago.
Whoa. An hour ago?
Yeah, something like that.
Where are you? Because I can hear, I heard someone in the background. Where are you?
And that's how he did it. Ultimately, it was real. And the guy really had taken whatever and enough to kill himself. And authorities got there and they saved his life.
That's amazing.
Crazy story, right? What else? I wanted to give a positive. A couple in Arkansas adopted 7 siblings earlier this month, just in time for Christmas. They were in a bad situation, then bounced around different foster homes. Now they're all together, so that's the key. Aww. There were 7 siblings, and you would think that they'd end up getting, one would go one place, one would go the other. They'd all get split up. And this one family was able to adopt all 7 of them. The kids ranged from 8 to 15 years old, and it all happened just before Christmas.
We had one bed in the room, and most of us slept on the floor.
These kids did not ask to come to foster care. They did not ask to go to 4 or 5 different homes, 4 or 5 different schools.
It feels good to actually have a family to wake up to every morning. Mom, Dad, I love you guys, and I wouldn't change it for the world. This has been the best Christmas I could ever have, actually, knowing I have a mom and dad.
They don't have to worry.
That'll make you feel good this morning, huh?
Being taken away.
Wow. How about that clip? Isn't that crazy?
My eyes are watering now, too.
I know. It's very hard to listen to that. All right. How about a little contest? You have them lined up here. Who do we have on the lines, Andrew Dominio?
We have Michelle, Jason, and Kathy.
Michelle, Jason, whatever. Here we go. And all you have to do is identify the movie that I play. I'm going to play a clip from a movie, and if you identify it, you win a $25 gift card to the awesome Villa Verona Vineyards on Route 365 up by the Turning Stone. We'll start with Michelle in Utica. Hello, Michelle.
Hi, how are you?
Wonderful. Happy holidays. Merry Christmas or whatever for you.
Merry Christmas.
Okay, I'm going to play the clip here for you. Tell me what movie this comes from. Are you ready?
I am ready.
Here it is.
The best way to spread Christmas cheer is singing loud for all to hear.
So this is the way we're doing this. Is it's done. Sorry, I didn't tell you in advance. It's done using the computer
animated
computer voice on my computer.
Oh.
So I'm going to play it again for you. So this is almost kind of a script. You got to know the script.
Yeah,
Manaske's very disappointed. All right, I'll do it again. Listen, this is from Elf. Okay. Listen. Sorry, it's not playing. There it is. There it is.
The best way to spread Christmas cheer is singing loud for all to hear.
The best way to sing the best way to sing Christmas or have Christmas cheer, spread Christmas cheer is singing loud and clear. That was from Elf. What movie is it from?
It's from Elf.
It's from Elf. She's absolutely right.
Oh, how did you get
How
that?
did you do it?
It's a Christmas miracle.
Winner, you're having chicken for dinner. Wow.
I love you guys.
You must be a movie buff.
Yeah,
oh,
you
my
know your
goodness.
scripts. You do. You really do. That's really, really good. You sit tight. Andrew's going to hook you up, all right? Yep. Boy, that was good. She was really good. Jason, you're going to have a tough time following that act.
I'll tell you.
Yeah, it sounds rough.
That text-to-talk voice, she is phenomenal.
Yes.
Oscar-worthy.
Okay, here we go again. This is your movie. Listen carefully. What movie or I believe, a Christmas special. Would this be fun? Okay, listen carefully. And again, it's scripting you're listening for. Here we go.
I never thought it was such a bad tree. It's not bad at all, really. Maybe it just needs a little love.
Are you there?
Yeah, I think. Were you able to hear that? Let me try it again.
No, I didn't hear it. No, I didn't.
Let me try it again.
Merry
Listen carefully.
I never thought it was such a bad tree. It's not bad at all, really. Maybe it just needs a little love.
Talking about the Christmas tree. What do you think?
Yeah, that's the Charlie Brown Christmas.
You're absolutely right. I didn't have to tell him. That was a good one.
Wow.
That was a goodie. Jason, congratulations. You have won a $25 gift card to Villa Verona Vineyards. Sit tight, all right?
Great, thank you.
All right, nice job. Jason in Rome. We'll head over to New Hartford where Kathy is standing by. Good morning and happy holidays, Kathy.
Good morning.
Are you ready?
Yes.
This is yours, and I think you might be able to get this one, too, without me telling you it's a Christmas story. Listen.
I want an official Red Ryder carbine action 200-shot range model air rifle.
Oh, there's a Christmas story.
There you go. You would have known that one, because I'm surprised they didn't do You're Going to Shoot Your Eye Out or something.
Yeah.
Remember that?
Yeah.
All right, Kathy, nice job. Andrew's going to hook you up, okay?
Thank you.
You sit tight. Have a great holiday.
Happy holidays.
I could try one more. I'll take the first caller through. I have one more to give away.
Okay.
First caller through, 315-736-0186. Andrew, I'll grab the caller. You don't worry about it. I'll get the person. I have a few more of these. This is kind of a neat little. This is actually Alexa doing the talking.
Uh-huh.
Right? So you can feed text to Alexa, and she'll just read the scripting. So that's where this is from.
She's a fast talker,
She's
too.
very fast, very fast. Hi, good morning. You're on the radio.
What number?
You're the first one in. Where are you calling from?
All right, Bill. Bridgewater.
All right. Who is this, by the way? Is this
John.
Oh,
I'm going to
John.
lose. I'm terrible at these games.
Just listen carefully, John.
John from Bridgewater. Listen very, very carefully. You might even know this one. Here it is. Listen carefully.
When Santa squeezes his fat white down that chimney tonight, he's gonna find the jolliest bunch of this side of the nut house.
Were you able to hear that? Did you hear that one?
Yeah, I heard the blanks.
Yeah.
Am I supposed to fill in the blanks?
No. Let me
please
do it
don't.
one more time for you.
When Santa squeezes his fat white down that chimney tonight, he's gonna find the jolliest bunch of this side of the nut house.
There might have been the A word in there and the A whole word in there. What movie could that Christmas movie about maybe a Christmas vacation? What movie would that have been? Do you think, John?
Christmas Vacation.
It is Christmas Vacation.
Wow.
It's amazing to me
Holy
that
crap.
they're able to pull this right out of Alexa. It's just the most amazing thing.
Oh, boy.
All right,
Thanks.
John, you sit tight. Andrew's,
All right.
Andrew's going to hook you up.
Yeah, thank you, man.
And I have a couple more. You want one?
Yeah.
See how you do? You said you were really good at this. Here's one more.
Every time a bell rings, an angel gets his wings.
Well, we know what that one is, right?
My favorite, It's a Wonderful Life.
It's a Wonderful Life. Andrew does
It's
that.
Zuzu's Petals.
I have a bunch of these, too. Here's one that this is only from Manaski, Andrew. Don't steal it.
What if Christmas he thought didn't come from a store? What if Christmas perhaps was a little bit more?
The Grinch?
The Grinch, yeah. That was an easy one. Had the little rhyme in there, right? Well, that was fun. 7:51 at WIBX. There was a big to-do this morning. There were police presence all throughout, right? We found out there's really nothing that happened. It might have been a false alarm. Is that what we're hearing, Andrew?
Yeah, that's the early reporting.
Okay. There's been a lot of that lately, these fake calls going out there.
And when you say false alarm, there was a threat, but there actually wasn't any
the threat
danger
was not
of
deemed credible.
Correct, okay.
Fair enough. Steve Rappaport comes to us by way of Fox News this morning, and apparently in the age of Donald Trump, there is something that is occurring out there, and it doesn't have anything to do with General Mattis. It's a dating dilemma. What are we talking about, Steve?
Hi, good morning. Thanks for having me. One of the things we are looking at is it seems that whether you lean left or right is a bigly factor, you could say, in determining whether to swipe left or swipe right. This is really becoming, this is like a serious thing. I'll tell you how this came to be.
Okay.
My aunt is a professional matchmaker. She's been doing this for 30 years. And a couple of weeks ago, we're talking, and I said, just curious, in light of the hyper-charged political atmosphere that we're in today, is it affecting your business? And she said something that really struck me. She said, well, obviously political compatibility is nothing new. However, prior to the election of Donald Trump, she did not have one instance, never, where a client refused to entertain the thought of going out with somebody simply because of who they voted for.
Wow. That's pretty crazy.
Well, when you had marriages of 40 years, we heard the story of like the older couple that was like they were married 40, 50 years, and
they
she
broke up,
decided,
right?
she heard at dinner that he voted for him, and she
left
filed
him.
for divorce.
Is it that
Yeah,
bad?
and it is. In fact, there's some data to back that up. There was a Reuters poll showing 29% of Americans have said that this presidency had a negative impact on at least one of their relationships. A Wakefield research study called The Trump Effect on American Relationships finds nearly 30% who are married or in relationships. They're saying the current atmosphere is causing tension with their partner. And check this out. Dating site OkCupid surveyed 1 million users, the question being, would you go out with a Trump supporter? What percentage of people do you think said absolutely not?
I don't know. What is the... well, I would bet it would be somewhere in the middle of America where we are. I mean, it's like 50% of America. So is it somewhere in the middle?
A little more. It's 65%.
Okay, wow, that's big.
So, yeah. And
right, so that's not my excuse.
Also, it's a
you have
out
no
for
chance,
divorce lawyers. Yeah.
Yeah, I do have to wonder, how have we gotten all this way prior to this? Why is Trump different? And when you think about it, for instance, in marriages, people get along quite well, even though the woman maybe doesn't like sports, and the husband does, and he's always watching the game, and she hates that. But they seem to be able to tolerate that, but not when it comes to Trump.
Yeah, and well, because it's not just in that area, also in family relationships, in relationships with coworkers, it's across the board. For some reason, like him or not, he is a controversial guy, and that controversy is just spilling over into people that are drawing their lines. You've seen it. You probably you've been in a debate with somebody, and they're just sticking to their beliefs. They're not budging. And the worst example I can think of, really, this is sad that it's come to this, is a guy named Brian Lieb. He's a member of Young Philadelphia Republicans. He's on a date about a year after the election, and when the lady found out that he voted for Donald Trump, she said, Brian, you seem nice, but I really don't think this is going to work. And she got up and left.
Wow. All based on who he voted for.
Can I ask you this?
This brings a whole new, older generations, they do not want to tell you who they voted for. They won't tell you who they voted for. Maybe we're going to have to go back to that. Manaski.
That's what I was kind of going to say. Does it matter, the success of a relationship, or if someone is attracted to someone else? Does it matter if you're an outspoken Trump supporter or you're an outspoken Hillary supporter, for instance, versus, I just kind of have an opinion. I keep it to myself. I'd rather talk about something else. Does it matter how politically involved you are?
Well, it can. And what you just said reminds me of a story that my aunt told me about a potential couple she was trying to set up. And so they're, talking, and the man wanted to talk about politics. And the woman did not. She tried to steer it away, and he just kept going back to it. And she said, look, I'm really not comfortable talking about this. And the guy had a knee-jerk reaction and said, yeah, people said the same thing about Nazi Germany.
Wow.
So, needless to say, there was no date.
All right, interesting stuff. So, just like Thanksgiving dinner, going into Christmas dinner, don't be a fool and start talking politics at the dinner table. It will not bode well, right? I'm assuming
and
that's
also,
the takeaway here.
I just want to say one thing. The ultimate takeaway should be this. As my aunt noted, when you focus on the similarities instead of the differences, you end up building on a much more solid foundation for a healthy relationship.
Yeah. Try to put the differences aside. That would be the way to go. So, all right, Stephen, thanks so much. Steve Rappaport, we appreciate your time.
Thanks for having me.
Have a great holiday. Thanks so much. I want to tell you and remind you that there are the Grand Marshal is already practicing to be the St. Patrick's Day Grand Marshal. Are you noticing that? He's trying to show the Irish committee over there that he knows how to shut streets down. Paul Buckley, the film czar, soon to be the Grand Marshal for the St. Patrick's Day Parade, we hope. We've been voting for him.
We have anything to do with it?
We have been voting, and we know others have as well. But for today, there are some street closures that are going on this evening because of a film production that's going on. This is a big-time movie with big actors. They've kind of been floating under the radar just a little bit, don't you think?
Yeah. This is the one where Adrian Brody's involved in some way?
Yep. The Parkway and Pleasant Street from Madison to Sherman will be closed all the way over there in that armory area. I guess that'd be our armory district, right? I guess it would. Anyway, that is the Parkway and Pleasant Street from Madison to Sherman, closed from 6 p.m. tonight until midnight. 6 p.m. until midnight. Plan on detours. They are filming a scene over there. And, Andrew, do we know how they did last night? They had tryouts last night at the Clinton Arena, right, for hockey, people that are good when it comes to their hockey skills. Mm-hmm. And they were looking for people that can be in the movie because they have a scene coming up. Or that's a completely different project, right?
Yes.
It's a different project.
Right. There's a
Hamilton It's a hockey movie that's coming up.
Colgate. It's a Colgate University coach movie. Or something.
We've got some guys in the newsroom who I think can help them out.
Well, they might have even tried out last night. It was last night at Clinton Arena. Anyway, the street closures for tonight. Be aware, Parkway and Pleasant Street from Madison to Sherman closed from 6 until midnight for a movie production going into this holiday weekend. 8:21 at WIBX. Gentlemen, good morning. Thanks for coming in this morning.
Morning.
All right, so Aaron, I'll start with you. This is tomorrow at 7. Who's going to be there, and what can people expect?
Yeah, tomorrow at 7 o'clock, the Bobby Page Memorial Foundation will be taking on CNY All-Stars, compiled of some good talent throughout the area. There are going to be some NHL guys there. We haven't mentioned what their names are yet, but looking at Steve Palmieri, Timmy Sestito, Steven Zalewski, and I'm missing one here, Danny Blackburn. Yeah, that's where Jared comes into play here down here.
This is a big deal, right? Pull the mics nice and close if you can, guys. So I'll go to you, Jim. Fun event, but for a very important cause. Explain the cause.
Well, our inception was in 2003, I believe. This is going to be our 15th year going into the foundation. We've done a lot of good with the money that we raise. Almost $200,000 we've given away to the kids in the community.
Wow.
We try to help with anything that they need, sport-oriented or whatever it could be. So events like this, we've raised all the money, and there's no administration fees here. Everything goes back to the community. So
awesome.
It's great.
And Jared, tell me your take on being able to. It's not just you'll have players there and former NHL players. It's a fun game, but there's you get to take a picture with a replica of the Stanley Cup, right?
Yeah, it'll be a great time. I grew up in this area, live in Dallas now, and when I got asked to come and play in this, I jumped at the opportunity. Got Dan Blackburn to come in as well, and hopefully next year get a couple more people from Dallas to come up as well.
Very cool. It's called the Bobby Page Memorial Foundation Hockey Game. And Aaron, talk about Bobby, would you?
Yeah, Bobby, obviously my brother passed away in 2005 of melanoma and skin cancer, and Bobby had a big spot in his heart for kids, and I loved to coach, loved to be around him, loved to do anything he could to help them. And I always say, when Bobby passed away, we weren't ready to let him go, so we kept his spirit alive by starting this foundation.
Pretty cool.
Yeah.
What do people need to know? You'll be there by 7 o'clock. It's $5 to get in.
$5 to get in, $5 donation, 16 and under for free. Like I said, these NHL guys will be there. I mean, we talk about Danny Blackburn, 10th overall draft pick, and 2012 or 2002. I mean that's pretty outstanding.
Yeah, it is.
Danny was a goalie, but he doesn't play goalie anymore. He's going to skate forward. He's going to give me the opportunity to play goalie, and so yeah, at 6:30 the guys will take the ice for warm up. So that's a good time probably to get there to see the guys warming up. They'll have their helmets off to see good facial features of themselves, and
cool.
It'll be a good time.
And again, if you're under 16, you get in for free.
In for free. Absolutely.
I'm assuming you guys have raffles and all of that. And
go
ahead. Plenty of raffles, 50-50 giveaways during the night. So that'll be a good time.
And it's a holiday weekend, so a lot of people are home.
Yes, that's why we try to plan it that way every year. So.
All right. Well, very cool, and keeping your brother's life basically alive through this. That's really cool. So.
Absolutely. Yeah.
All right, guys, that is the Bobby Page Memorial Foundation versus who you play in the Central New York All-Stars?
Correct.
Talk about them just a little bit.
Yeah, actually, it was a last-minute thing. We got a hold of Connor Hobbs, talked to him. We had a team out of Syracuse had something come up, and they couldn't play. So we got a hold of Connor Hobbs pretty late. That's why it hasn't been advertised too well. I mean, pretty good. I appreciate you letting us come in to do this.
Yep.
and he put a very good team together. I'm almost sad I called him because it's going to be a very good game. So.
Yeah, all right, cool. Be careful what you ask for, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Tomorrow, the Kennedy Arena, and get there around 6:30 for all the autographs and all of that. If they have any information, is there a number they can call, or you just show up?
They could show up. They could go on to the Bobby Page Memorial Foundation website, www.bobbypagenumeral5.com. Other than that, Kennedy Arena, I think it's 500 West Embargo Street in Rome.
Cool. All right, guys, thanks.
Thank
you. Appreciate it.
Big positive. Happy holidays. 827 at WIBX. Okay, Wayne, you're on the radio. Good morning. On the PETA billboard.
How about I just noticed that a couple of days ago. I looked up and I'm looking at it. I'm like, I got to go and have me a steak. So I went and got some prime rib, and then I had a couple egg sandwiches and prime rib, and let me tell you, it was good.
So it inspired you to actually eat meat, you feel?
Yeah, and baby chickens. Very nice, Wayne. That's great.
My son is a vegetarian, and so is his wife.
Really?
Yeah.
Listen, I'm not against any vegetarian. I just
Neither am I, yeah.
I just don't want to be guilted into you shouldn't be eating meat.
The sign says, I am me, so what, it's like a person?
Yes, they're like saying, I'm an individual.
I'm an individual?
That's been PETA's argument since they founded.
You're eating an individual. That's what
I never understood that, because it's like, to each his own. That's how,
Yeah,
how
leave it at that. No, they feel they're saving lives out there today. Chicken lives, yeah. Okay, there you go, Wayne. Hey, have a great holiday. Thanks.
You too.
You know, it's funny. It's very similar to Chick-fil-A, the fast food chain. Their whole ad campaign is they've got the cows that have the signs. So, like, I'm just off the top of my head. One of them was there was a cow that was a window cleaner in a skyscraper, and the thing came down like on the thing that prevents them from or being able to clean the scaffolding. Thank you.
Eat chicken.
And it says eat more chicken.
Yeah,
more chicken. Yeah.
25-year-old mom in Indiana was arrested on Tuesday after she left her two kids home alone. Watching what movie? Are we ready? What movie were the children watching?
Could it be Home Alone?
You're absolutely right. She has two boys, a 7-year-old and a 4-year-old. They've been by themselves for 6 hours. The mom said she couldn't find a babysitter, so she left them home and let them watch Home Alone.
Kevin! Guys, I'm eating junk and watching rubbish. You better come out and stop me.
Yeah, that is the exact clip from her house.
How old?
I believe the kids were, what did I say, 7-year-old and a 4-year-old.
That's kind of ridiculous. I mean,
7 is a little young to leave at home.
Absolutely.
Alone.
And what happens if the 4-year-old is coughing or needs a diaper change or has,
by the way, the woman was arrested by authorities. Got a break. Coming up, a big donation yesterday. We talked about what happened with Operation Sunshine. I want to list off a group of thank yous. We'll do that. And also, coming in studio is Shelley Callahan from the Mohawk Valley Resource Center for Refugees, the Refugee Center. And they received a very large donation, and it's an interesting story behind it. We'll get into it coming up at WIBX. Tom in Little Falls, good morning.
Good morning. I just heard on the air that New York State unemployment has dropped considerably, and I was wondering if that was connected to a story earlier in the week about the number of people who have left New York State.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Well, maybe, yeah. I guess it's possible.
If there's less people here,
well,
there's less people to be on the unemployment list.
Yeah, but the percentage wouldn't change, right? That wouldn't change percentage.
Sure it would.
Well, it really would, but it wouldn't. It would not accurately in the way if it was like there are 4 million people on unemployment and 1 million people left, it would be 3 million, and then we would say, oh, it's down because everybody left. The problem is if you base it on percentages are based on the number of people that are here, not including the number of people who have left. Of all people, Tom, you, the mathematician that you are, I'm sure you understand that.
Oh, I do. And what was the number of the people that left?
I don't know.
It was like 1.1 million, and I don't remember the time frame, but it was over a course of time, not like a
No, I think
year
the only number that they had was that there were still 19 million in New York, which is fourth behind California, Florida, and Texas.
Yeah, but still the number was rather large. Mm-hmm. And why did they leave? Because there wasn't jobs, or because they were going to get jobs somewhere else?
The rent is too damn high.
Although New York City's population continues to rise,
of course,
believe, if you look at that number.
You have all sorts of illegals and business.
Well, I'm glad
you're going to have
gave me an opportunity to parlay into my next guest
to New
here.
York City.
Yes.
Can I just make one more point?
Thank you, Tom.
And
you have a great weekend.
I'm going to poke one more hole in that argument. New York State offers, I've heard some describe as like the Cadillac plan of if you're unemployed, right? The benefits and services you can get in New York. So
well, it's
people
not
who
Mississippi, I'll tell you that.
It's not.
Yeah.
People who are unemployed and need those services aren't the ones fleeing the state. So
Right.
that wouldn't make the unemployment rate go down. It would actually have the opposite.
Some of it is, and we bring in Shelley Callahan from the Refugee Center. Some of it is there is a bit of a lack of opportunity in New York State, in upstate New York, which is why New York City continues to grow, and our economy is a little rough up here. Shelley, good morning. This really does put its finger on the importance of the immigration in our area and refugees. Had it not been for that influx in population, where would we be in terms of aid? I mean, we'd drop below 50,000. That would be a real problem for Utica.
Yeah, thank you for having me.
Good morning. Not to bring you into that. I didn't expect that.
Yeah, I think the demographics would be starkly different.
Yeah.
I think Utica would be a ghost town, frankly. I think a lot of the economic development that we have seen happen over the last 10 years probably wouldn't have.
Yeah, without. You had a big donation, and it came at a really good time, right? The holidays, and you guys have had a bit of a tough year.
Yeah, well, we've had a tough year because of, the national politics around refugee resettlement. But we've also had an incredibly good year. We're growing. We're constructing a welcome center at our site. We've had some state funding. And community support has really been just overwhelmingly positive. So.
Talk about this donation. This comes from someone, Polish immigrants?
So second-generation Polish-American and a Korean immigrant. So Jean and Ken Pokalski met at an air base in Korea. I think they've been married for 48 years. Wow. And so they, came back here and lived all over the country, different spots in the world, raised their kids here for a number of years in Rome, New York. Moved around again because he was in the military, and then in their retirement decided, after seeing, the world, decided to move to Rome because they love the people in the Mohawk Valley and they love really the change of seasons. Yeah. And Jean, the wife especially, she's a gardener. She just thinks it's beautiful here, and she remembers the warmth of the people in Rome when she was a new immigrant and how much support and just community.
So they donated $10,000.
They donated $10,000. Really.
What's it feel like when you get that phone call?
Yeah, I mean, it's really great, and immediately for me, I just feel a responsibility to make sure that we do good things with every dollar anyone gives us, because I know that people, expect good things. So
I want to ask you, as your how many different languages would you say you deal with in a given year?
Well, we have a language services department, so we're providing interpretation and translation, sometimes with translation all over the world. So 40, 50, maybe more. There's no language we can't get.
Shows you the diversity here.
The diversity here and everywhere.
Yeah. What is it like around the holidays? So what are people celebrating? I say, Merry Christmas if that's your thing. But it might not be.
Right.
Which is why Happy Holidays, this whole controversy over this, I don't know what's wrong with trying to, if you feel that someone might not celebrate Christmas, say Happy Holidays or whatever it is that they celebrate. I don't think there's anything wrong with that.
So I can say at the Refugee Center, we have a very diverse staff, Muslim, Buddhist, Christian, Pentecostal Christian, Hindu. And we also, if a lot of my staff will wish me Merry Christmas because they know that that's my tradition and faith. Nobody seems to have a problem with it. A lot of folks really, they're learning about different traditions. They're excited about it. They like to put up Christmas trees and do other things. So I don't feel, I guess, what other people talk about. I wish people Merry Christmas all the time.
Yeah, I do. I find we have a song parody that's been pretty popular this year, the Mele Kalikimaka song parody, which is the song is about. You want to screw with your conservative friends, just say Mele Kalikimaka, and they'll say, hey, go back to the country you came from. And that's Hawaii. I always thought that was part of America. Maybe not. Maybe not. But it is kind of fun. My whole thing is I don't want somebody telling me, if I say Happy Holidays, I say Merry Christmas. If I say Happy Holidays, I just don't want someone correcting me saying, no, you have to say, I don't have to say anything. And as a matter of fact, I'm retracting my happy holidays. I think we just got to all try to get along, especially at the holidays.
I agree. And I think if you're wishing anybody, happy holidays or Merry Christmas, it's coming from a place, I would hope, of generosity.
Right.
So that's how it should be received.
I have Joe on the line who has a question about refugees and real estate. Joe, you're on the radio, and good morning.
Yeah, good morning. I'm only speaking about this economically. I'm not getting politically or religiously involved in anything.
Smart.
But all I can say is I've been around the business a long time in this area, and without the refugee center, who does a first-class effort here, I just want to say that. Without them bringing in people that want to work, want to better their lives, want to live in a safe environment, the city itself, specifically in my mind, East Utica would be a ghost town with properties destroyed and torn down. They have revitalized it. They've worked hard to purchase them, renovate them, sell them, make a profit, go on to the next one. And the individuals that the Refugee Center bring in are to be applauded for their efforts. It's a tough thing to come in from a country to come here, learn a language, learn work ethic, get along with everybody, religiously, politically. But like I'm saying, economically speaking, they've done a marvelous job. I want to applaud their efforts and hope that they continue.
All right. Nice, Joe. Thanks, man. Have a great holiday, all right?
Thank you. Thank you.
Well, that was very nice. And I think he's very accurate, right?
Yes, I am inspired every day by the people that we work with, refugees and immigrants, my staff, and this community, because it takes everybody in the community to do what Utica has done over the last 35 or 40 years.
It's one thing we've really done pretty darn well.
We should be really proud of what we've done here. And back to the economic thing, I would just say that we put 300 to 400 folks a year in jobs, and right now we can't keep up with the workforce demand.
What do you think it must have been like for back in the 1900s, the early and mid-1900s, when these people came through Ellis Island and their names got screwed up usually, and they were given basically, go ahead, go take advantage of the American dream. Here, when someone comes, there's a place for these people to go and get some guidance. And I think that I can't imagine what those people, our grandparents, great-grandparents went through.
Yeah, and I think just in general, the social programs that we have now, I mean, children would starve to death. Mm-hmm. People would get injured in an industrial accident, and that was it. That was essentially the end of their life, and it was either the charity of strangers or a church. But so it's a completely different time for everyone. I'm in favor of the social reforms we've done. But, my grandmother had to quit school in the 8th grade, go to work in a mill, lost the tip of her finger, had to support her family. It was a different time for everybody.
Yeah. You mentioned earlier that you folks are often embroiled in the national immigration conversation, but there is a pretty big difference then. Like the clients that you have and the people that you work with, they're not sneaking across the border. They apply for things. They're kind of placed here by the United States government. Can you talk about the process they go through and how that's different than when we talk about the southern border wall and the debate there?
Yeah, so refugees are, determined by the UN High Commission for Refugees. So yes, their identities are established. The security vetting process now takes years, and they are brought here by the U.S. government. It's a humanitarian program. And, they're expected to get a job, learn English, adjust their status to legal permanent resident at about 1 year post-arrival, and then become citizens at about 5 years post-arrival. So, these folks are determined to sort of make the American dream happen.
And they assimilate into our society. And in fact, you gave the speech at one of the...
That was the most incredible day. They allowed me to give the keynote address when these people were being naturalized. And it was awesome. And I look at those people who have studied history and they've studied American government and civics. And I got to tell you, they probably know a heck of a lot more than we do. Than so many of us, right?
Yes. And also, if you're feeling disenchanted with America for whatever reason, maybe a news story has broke or something's gone wrong, if you can go to one of those ceremonies and see the people being sworn in that are just so enthusiastic and filled with hope and promise about America, do it.
It's a pretty touching moment, I really have to say. Tony Colon, who we will see coming up on Monday as part of our
He's
Christmas.
bringing you something special.
Oh, I'm very excited. As part of our Christmas Eve extravaganza, Tony Colon, good morning. You're on the radio.
Good morning. Good morning. You certainly wanted to wish and extend everybody a happy holidays and a Feliz Navidad. But I also wanted to certainly recognize Shelley for the wonderful work she's done in this community through her agency and certainly personally. But this Welcome Center, Shelley was a part of the Vision 2020 committee that I chaired. And to see this coming to life and to fruition after all the work that we put into the initiative, it's just wonderful. And I wanted to congratulate her and her crew for such a wonderful job with the move and now with this wonderful development.
Pretty awesome. All right, Tony.
Thank you, Tony, and Merry Christmas. And it's so nice for you to say that. Thank you.
You're very welcome. You take care. We'll see you soon.
And Tony, we'll see you on Monday. We appreciate it. Thanks so much. He's a good guy. He does really great work here.
And that's, when I say it takes the community, he is definitely a part of the community. He, as he said, it was 2020 vision. Nobody does anything alone. So really, just gratitude for everyone that's been with us.
All right. And how do you say this couple's last name?
Pukalski.
Pukalski. Polish and Korean.
Yes.
And $10,000 giving back to try to keep the opportunities for others, the opportunities they've been able to afford. So pretty cool.
Right. Yeah.
Thank you so much, Shelley. I appreciate it.
Thank you for having me.
Have a great holiday.
Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas. I want to throw in one more before I go. Lucia, you're on the radio. Good morning.
Good morning. How are you, Bill?
Wonderful. How you doing? Happy holidays, Lucy.
Yeah, Merry Christmas.
So,
Happy New Year.
Yes. Are you
something I will at some point. I'll never forget.
You don't have to do that. Listen, Lucy.
I don't do something because I have to. I want to. I really want to. Otherwise, I can't do it.
I appreciate it. You got to be very happy that Anthony Brindisi won the congressional race.
Of course.
Yeah.
And I'm the one who told them from school board to assembly, you're going to win. You're going to win. You won, and I said you're going to win the Congress. You're the winner.
All right.
And he did.
All right. Well, listen, you have a wonderful holiday, Lucy, and have a great weekend. Thanks so much for the call.
Ooh, you got the best show, the best fest, and everything.
Okay. Thank you, Lucy.
Bye.
Goodbye.
Bye.
And with that, I say we have to go back on Monday now. I got to tell you, it is our Christmas Eve extravaganza. It goes from 6 a.m. until 12 noon. Sponsored by Charlie's Pizza. They have that incredible catering deal. Buy one full tray of whatever they have. Get the second full tray at half price. They'll be in here. The show's 6 a.m. until noon on Monday. Have a safe weekend out there. We're back Monday morning.